Here we go. Sir, so you are barking out there? All right, you guys asked for it, so here we go. The story behind Ryder here is that he was turned over to rescue because he's a bite case. Bites humans. Now, the thing about why he does is because of resource guarding. So toys, stuff like that, he gets too hyped up and then he will bite. So he's gonna be going through training with me to correct those behaviors and get those things under control. To start right out, when he first comes in, first 2 to 3 days, we call it decompression. Giving them time to adjust to their new area, their new surrounding. They start out in a kennel. They have to get put on a schedule and a routine, because the main thing that happens with a dog, big, small, anything like that bites, they feel like they can control the situation. They don't have boundaries. There's things that need to be put in place to control these behaviors. So we're gonna go through the motion of it, and then it's gonna be piece by piece of what will help us to get where we need to be. Now, there are tons of different training styles out there. We do what works for us and what has for years and years and years. I've been training since I was a little kid, but we do what works for us and what works for each different dog. Different tools require different things to build and to be constructive. So that's how we do it. So here we go. Let's start with Ryder. Now, like a big part of what I was saying is boundaries. They need to have boundaries so that they don't feel like they can overstep, they cannot disrespect in situations. You want to get a lot of respect from a dog that has bite cases and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you how we start out with the kennel. It's going to be stopping them where I create a boundary and only allowing them to come out when I say. So I need to get it to a point where I can open the door. He's not gonna come out, and then I can leash him too. So you'll see the tactics as we go through here. You ready, buddy? Even if I come down to his level, which you don't really wanna do, I'm doing it to show you guys right now, but when you come down here, he should not sniff me. He should not come out. If I'm going to, I'm gonna correct him. I'm gonna give him a little tug and say, no. He's also, we've been working since he got in on, I do a lot of relationship-based training. So I expect respect and eye contact. I want them to be attentive and looking at me for if I'm gonna do commands or what I'm gonna require of them. They should be connected like this, because then we can get better results. Instead of having to be using prong or e-collar or stuff like that, I don't really do that. I never have, and I probably never will. Like I said, there are always tools out there, but for this, if you can get comfortable and you can create boundaries, you can start from right there. So I'll show you the next part. Wait. Okay, come on. Good boy. Over here. There you go. Calm, walking out. And we get to the front door. Same situation. So here we go. Wait. Wait. Okay, so we are back to the front door after his potty break. Front door, exact same thing. Wait. It's the exact same thing of boundaries until you're ready to go in, then they go in. And we come to food, the predetermining factor of a lot of issues for resource guarding. So we shall see. Wait. So the reason that we start out with a lot of hand feeding is it's direct, there's an old saying of don't bite the hand that feeds you. And it's a premise for a lot of stuff like that. But you do that to associate, human being, your hand being able to take or give. And it's a slow process sometimes, but it depends on how they are with food. And he's not too bad. So we'll see with treats and toys and stuff. But never just go stick your hand into a situation like that unless you're a professional, because you can get bit. So here we go. Now we're gonna condition him a few things. I'll show you the time lapse on it. Okay, so I'll get into the next part of it, but we're gonna go through about food and weighting, same thing about boundaries and all that sort of stuff. But while we're doing the training, I am starting him off on some of our supplement for the MCT 500 milligram. Bring down any anxiety or anything he may have, but he's adjusting very well. So just put it into the food. And then one thing real quick is we will make him wait to get his food. He does not get to come on it on his own terms. So as you put the bowl down, no, wait. See, he wants it and he kind of understands, but he's gonna try and move and do his own thing here in a second if I don't correct that. So before he does it, you wanna do it, it's prevention before intervention. So you wanna prevent it from happening by wait. See how he's connected with me right there? So I want that connection so that I know he's listening and understanding. Then I can invite him to his food. Let's go. Good boy. But we'll get into more of that. So the next thing that we are going to go into is to create that calm placement that I need to be able to introduce place to him. Now, place is going to be a calm, comfortable place for him to learn and for him to get used to the training that we're starting right now. Now as well, I need to be able to see his main triggers and see what sets him off, see what does this. So after the first 2 or 3 days, we will start to push that a little bit and put him in the situations lightly, just so that we don't have to have it be too harsh, but we need to see exactly where he's at with these kind of things. So we will simply introduce him to place by bringing him up to the cot, waiting for his feet to go towards it, and then we say place so that it is a command, put in place. Oh. Good. Let's go. Place. See, so if he's gonna be stubborn about it and not understand it, I'm not gonna force him into it. I'm gonna bring him around it, get him to smell it, get him to see that it's an inviting space, because if you force a dog into something or have to put too much pressure, they're not gonna understand it the same way. Some dogs you need to be a little bit harder on, you need to push a little bit more, but when he's more anxious or just not understand or stubborn, you take a different approach and you take your time. Come on. Place. Yes. See the difference right there? I stood over it, went over it, and then he wanted to follow off. Now he's feel like he's invited into my space, which I'm gonna shut down, but he felt more invited to place instead of being forced into it. So it's using that to make a dog think that they're doing it on their terms, but then understanding and being repetitive and making it consistent that it's a command, and then you do a positive after that. Off. Good. Now, he picked up on this pretty quick right now. Now, the whole thing that I said about relationship-based training is, as he's looking at me right now, he's waiting for me to tell him to do something. He's not going to do other things, which is good. So if he lays down and gets comfortable, that's a good thing. If he's doing stuff like this, enough. Some dogs will do stuff like that and wait. Some dogs will do stuff like that as a distraction because they don't really need to itch their collar or do anything. A lot of times you can notice these different signs of when a dog's being stubborn or whatever, but he's actually very invested in this right now. So what we're gonna do is get him comfortable in his space, and then make sure, even if he comes out of that roll right there, that he's gonna stay on place. Otherwise it's a correction that we have to put in place. So I've invited into it, he's doing good on it. He's been doing very good with stay and staying on place, because the next thing you're gonna work is duration. You want to get a duration of time that you can keep them on the cot, calm and balanced, so that when you introduce new things, you can go through and start to adjust your approach to the negative that he has, like his resource guarding. So we're gonna get him comfortable and do duration here. right, so Ryder has been at the rescue house for the last few days working with me. We are ready to transfer him over to my place, and we're gonna start all of his in-depth training. Now, he learned a lot of the fundamental stuff and the commands over there, but now it is time to really get to it. So remember, if you wanna see more of this, subscribe, like, comment. Let's get going.